Ginger Prime stands with a rallying call. Pixelit faith standing strong through it all. The frame rate may falter, but hearts won't fall. Chrono rewrites what you thought you knew at all. Late to the game, but his wisdom lands clean. Skill checks are off, that's the price of a dream. Gaming kinda brings the chaos and thrill, dropping rare loot with unshakable will. Forte holds the line, grace under the blade, faith like a fortress that never will fade. Scrag lights the fire with a storm in his breath. $80 flat for unfinished quests. Joy-Con still drifting, my patience long gone. But I'll queue up at midnight, you know I'll play on. Pull up a chair, the battle's begun. Legends are forged in the light of the sun. One life now saves, play it bold, take the lead. At the gaming roundtable where the fearless plant every seed. We shine bright in tree, ride no please. Rise through the fire, no checkpoint in sight. One heart, one strike through the endless night.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gaming Roundtable podcast. Brian, Scrag, and Chrono here with a returning guest. We haven't got to sit down since the 4 More Games situation with Xbox a couple years ago. It's been a journey. We got Reforged Gaming, aka Lono, back on the podcast. Lono, welcome back, dude. I know we got a lot to talk about, but I really appreciate you. And it's fun, man. I always love talking to you. So how you been?
I've been good. I didn't realize it had been that long. That's
been a while.
It's been a while. Last year was a bit of a blur, but yeah, happy to be back, man. Thank you.
Dude, absolutely. I was on Lono's show, I think about a week ago. We were talking about Play Anywhere, the incentives around that. If you guys haven't seen that episode, it was just, it's a fun thing to talk about. I think we're just in this state of flux within the gaming industry. And also a huge shout out and thanks for also the raid, by the way, and our member here, Risk It, for jumping in with the support on the podcast. Today, we're focusing in on Xbox, Fable. I really want to kind of get some thoughts on Horizon 6. I don't know how you guys are feeling, so we're going to go around to get everybody's kind of take. I think the big topic is obviously Fable. I've got some thoughts. I don't know if I can't unsee the little female hip swagger from like male characters. And I'm so glad other people are talking about it because I watched that and I was like, oh, I don't think this game's done, but I'm very curious. Let's toss to our guests. Lono, you're coming in. You watched the event. I've seen some tweets from you this last day. People trying to like clip you and basically make it seem like you're negative. How are you feeling vibe-wise on this entire presentation that Xbox gave us yesterday?
Yeah. Well, they started strong. I mean, I definitely think for them, Forza Horizon is their strongest showcase this gen period. Like Horizon 5 is just excellent, looks great, really shows off where I was kind of hoping, their games in Series X was going to go. And so obviously Forza Horizon 6 comes out. It was, I think, incredible looking. I think they're going to have to navigate release timing on PlayStation. They're going to have to think about that because we all know like later this year, GTA 6 is kind of looming like a shadow. Because we know Forza Horizon 5 did incredibly well on PlayStation, and it's not surprising, big audience there for it. And they, to me, Playground in that world, that's kind of like, to me, like if Insomniac makes a game, I know it's going to be great. Like they've kind of earned that trust. I feel like Playground has earned that trust in Forza. I'm like, that's going to be a great game. I don't really play them, but I know they're going to nail it. It looked fantastic.
Does that trust carry over to what they're working on with Fable? Or is it something of a more proving ground because it's a completely different kind of style game?
Yeah, the issue there, I don't necessarily. They gave me confidence in that they know the vision and the identity of Fable. I feel like they've captured that. But I'm worried that engine isn't translating well to an open world like RPG. We saw this with the RE engine. We know that some engines just don't translate well to this environment. We heard early on they were having issues with the engine, and that was kind of dismissed. And I'm like, I think we're seeing evidence of that now. There were definitely some issues in the trailer. All the snippets were very short. That's something I pointed out. I said, I don't know, y'all. That's a concern to me. That feels like a game that needs another. This felt like, to me, is what I said, is like a flyover of a game that I'm thinking is coming out 18 to 24 months. This didn't look like a game that's coming out in 8 months. So I think they've captured the identity and essence of Fable. The ideas and systems all sound great, but the performance, the combat, and then the snippets, all of that were like red flags to me. I'm like, you guys have got a ways to go. And I hope they're given that opportunity so that they can nail this, because I think they can, but I don't think they can. I don't think that thing's coming out in 8 months and is going to be like up to snuff of quality and ready to go. I think they need to be given more time.
Well, if Satya has his way, he's hoping probably Copilot can cover the spread between the layoffs and then also delivering on time. But we have seen delays before, and I'm with you. Like, if the game needs an additional 6 months, give it 6 months, because there were some really good points, some highlights and things that I was like, that looks, I mean, while it wasn't what I would define as like real gameplay, we didn't see combat next to the giant pumpkins, but that the aesthetic I thought was just breathtaking. Chrono, you got to sit down and watch it. What do you think?
With Forza Horizon, I thought it looked great. It's technically impressive. I just think it's going to be more of the same. That's not a bad thing. Horizon's a great series. It is really why they quit Forza Motorsport proper and left Forza Horizon alone, because it sells. And Forza Horizon, the Forza Motorsport is what it is. It's a sim racer.
It has a bigger draw with the Horizon because
it's more approachable.
There's an audience for sim racing, but just like Lona said, like Gran Turismo 6, like has been such a, the Gran Turismo series is what brought me into sim racing originally as a kid. Forza did take it over because I prefer the Xbox controller, and everybody knows my bias there. Then now I'm like, well, if they're going to back out of that, all right, Horizon, like 6 is good, GT6, but yeah, go ahead.
But with Fable, I don't know. I have never been a huge Fable fan. I played it on the original Xbox, but I didn't really care for the sequels. Didn't dive into them. But I think what they've done is prove that they know, at least from a writing and maybe a structural perspective, they've got the essence of Fable down. Some of the humor that they showed looked great, and those snips are obviously, all those clips were obviously made to make the game look good. But I do get some of the criticisms. I'm really just glad that the character creator didn't just end up being like this, because that original character they showed got a lot of blowback for how she looked, and I wasn't really like impressed when they first showed the game at that state. So this looked miles better to me than that first like reveal for Fable. I do think there's a lot to look forward to. If they do delay it, will that be the death of the game? I don't know that they could deal with another delay, or if they delayed it before, I don't know. But it feels like this game we've known about since before this Series X dropped. And so, like, it's at what point is it taking too long to come out? Like, I'm glad that everything they showed was coming out this year.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's been my biggest critique. We're showing games too early, or concepts. I think Lono, on your show today, you talked about like Perfect Dark. That's another big blow. I was like, great. I'd love to see them do something with this franchise. If they announce Banjo-Kazooie, like, then I'd be great. But not in concept. Don't show me like some trailer. Show me some gameplay that I can get excited about. Now, I'd like to go to Scrag, who we like to have on here just so that Lono looks like the biggest Xbox fan there is. Scrag, what was your takeaway?
We're in a bad spot, guys, for Xbox. I'm sorry, my throat is clogged up. A pottery game?
Yeah, okay.
Was one of our
100%.
main hype. Like, this was important enough to put up there with the big boys.
When the
you
rumor
know,
was...
Chrono,
dude, I
the
saw
only
it.
thing, if anyone ever actually pays money for that game or downloads it with their precious 1 terabyte of space on their Xbox, all they're gonna do is make phallic faces.
Yeah. That
is all that's gonna happen.
I had the same reaction during the thing. I was like, that's gonna lead to some inappropriate stuff.
which is cool. It was fun. It's probably the best game they showed off, unironically.
For that reason alone.
Mm-hmm.
I was disappointed because it's like there's a secret fourth game. It's going to be, people like let the hype machine kind of build for them and expectations got really high.
No,
and
it was
then,
killing.
And then I was like, ooh, Double Fine. What are we going to see? And it's like, I guess, a party game.
We
Sure.
like to take a fortnight and pitch prototypes. Like, cool. Keep doing that.
Like that's a cool idea. I like that. Like just this ain't it, man.
The other
Siege
key
Master in
takeaways
chat.
I had,
So
though,
funny.
other than the dick pot fighting game, was Stellar Blade with clothes was kind of cool.
Beast of Reincarnation looked awesome.
Yeah,
Game
I'm not
Freak
calling
can
it
make
that.
games
So
with good
Stellar
graphics.
Blade with clothes was kind of cool. It looked neat.
Did anyone watching the thing live, did anyone get the impression that every time they mentioned Pokemon, it was like a cry for help? It was like
saying that. I was like, it feels like
it felt like all of them were like, we've been working on Pokemon for so long. It's so nice to make different games.
Please support this. They're gonna send us back in the dungeon, and I can't go back, man. What do you think, Loda? What do you think about the Beast of Reincarnation? I did feel that vibe. It was like Pokemon. We get it. It's like blink if you're in trouble.
Yeah. I was really surprised at how obviously I don't got hands on sticks yet, but it looked really, really tight and crisp for the combat system, which always gets my attention. Like if your dodges, your parries and all that, if all that looks really crisp and nice, that gets my attention. I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, for their first attempt, this looks really good. Apparently, now this is just something I saw in a headline. I haven't been able to like properly research this. I'm seeing it claimed that they outsourced a lot of this to like other studios, because I was thinking they had to tap somebody with experience to
they need to do that for Pokemon. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. Like maybe they need to get somebody who knows how to optimize their games.
So they've made games
well, just a little.
like other games other than Pokemon. Like there's Giga Wrecker on Steam. I've seen it on sale for 45 cents. Nobody buys that game. I don't know why. Let's see what it is. It's currently $20, but that's not the real price.
It's not the real price.
It's a true statement. There's a meme that I love, and I don't know if y'all have seen it. Most likely you have, where it's like it's the Braveheart guys, and they're like hold, and it's showing the game price on Steam going down, and then it's like $1. Support the devs. Let's go.
Yeah. I did want to talk about the kiln thing. I do think that's a good lesson and I think Jeff Keighley learned this lesson with High Guard. Like, you got to be real careful how you position something, because I kind of agree. Everyone's like, oh, there's a mystery game. Everybody gets excited. And again, for Double Fine, I loved the lead in. I've said for a while, more and more studios should do this. Let passion back in the room. Ginger and I talked about this, actually. It's like, I think periodically you should just say, hey, who's got a project right now? Your devs have got ideas and projects and things. And man, this is where your little diamonds in the rough are going to be found, because that's essentially what games like Expedition 33 represent, is just this passion to, we want to make this. We're no longer at these big, huge studios. Let's do it. Well, these big studios should be like, we've already got people that could probably do that. Let's do this. So I love that Double Fine does that.
Yeah.
It was really unusual that they decided to go with like a party brawler. There's so many party brawlers. They feel very disposable. I love that's
exactly how it came off. The game feels disposable, and all they've done is reveal it. And I hate that it's come to that, because I'm sure they've enjoyed working on it. I just don't get like why now during this is what's coming into 2026. This is what we have to look forward to. There's some great headliners here, but also this.
I like including smaller games in studios. This doesn't seem like a game you need a developer deep dive. Like, do we need extensive interviews about this? Probably not. I like seeing smaller studios or games included. Sure. I think that's great. Maybe it should have been a lot shorter, because it was like, there's not so much to talk about here. It's like a pottery brawler. Like, what are we doing? It seemed a little long in the tooth at the end.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially at the end when they started doing the bloopers. I was like, was this really necessary? Does anyone actually even really care that they had bloopers?
Yeah.
This isn't Jim Carrey here. Okay. This is some overweight
No,
dev
it
like
makes
myself
it
going.
feel,
I
it makes it feel
couldn't
more
say the
relatable.
word. I couldn't
It's
say
more
the word.
relatable. I connected with that. Don't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Oh, wait,
do
hold
think
on,
it
cut.
dragged
We got to
on.
make a blooper out of that real quick.
Yeah,
Hold on.
exactly.
We messed up.
To the AI editor that does my clips, please clip what Scrag just said so he can go viral. You got to mention Game Pass in some form or capacity if you want to really trend on Twitter, because that's been my experience. Any of those clips seem to do real well. Game Pass, best deal ever, till they changed it. So I'm gonna talk about Fable because like I saw in chat somebody was bringing up Crimson Desert, right? Because we got news this week. Crimson Desert has gone gold. That's been a game that I've been just adequately curious about. I think the combat looks good. It started off in concept as like, oh, do we want to do this as an MMO, follow up to Black Desert? A lot of my friends really seem to enjoy Black Desert for what it does offer, but I've heard the critiques. But Crimson Desert, single player RPG, action RPG, looks like really polished. So then juxtapose that obviously to Fable, something that has also got the weight of what Microsoft is trying to bring to that franchise. And I do feel like Crimson Desert, if you made me choose today which one, if you could only play one, I think I'd have to pick up Crimson Desert because Fable just. I'm really hoping that they can spend the next 8 weeks, 8 months, like Lona said, but like that swagger of like, hey, we saw the reaction to the character. We're gonna let you have like pick your basically gender. Cool. I like you brought that up, Lono, on previous streams. Like that's the solution. And then the animations of like, yeah, it's got a dude's head, but it's definitely got female animations. Are they gonna tighten that up? And just the fact that everybody else noticed that, I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was like, I hope it wasn't just me. Maybe I was just having an elderly moment or something. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Where do you guys feel? Because like obviously another action RPG seems like it's probably going to be one of the big ones this year, assuming that they knock it out of the park. We'll go with Lona first.
My biggest concern with Crimson Desert has just been performance because early looks seemed very ambitious. There were so many NPCs, a lot of lighting, shadows, fidelity. I was like, you just get that feeling of like, this just looks too good to be true. People kept saying, oh, they've had major breakthroughs with their engine. I believe Luke Stevens said something about that when they did the New Game Plus showcase. He was talking about like that. It's running really well. I still have concerns about performance on console specifically. I feel like you've got like a pretty beastly rig. You could probably smooth over some of this. There was even a showcase recently where like I felt like there was already visible degradation, like character detail, lighting, textures all could have been toned down, which I'm okay with. But I think this is why we always need to be cognizant of that. It's like, man, when you're showing me something and everything seems like it's turned up to 11, it's like, I don't know if that's going to run all that well. I mean, we've got trailers of what's the one game like Tides of Annihilation, and now we have footage of Fable, as well as there was another one where you can like see performance issues in the trailer. I was like, oh gosh, wow, you guys are letting us see that. Are you letting us see that because you're confident you can fix it, or are you letting us see it because you're like, this is the best we got? It's kind of a new era.
It's really the eternal question with all of these reveals when they come up, right? Like, is that the best? And experience says,
Yep.
Well, the good news in terms of Crimson Desert, from a development perspective, is the fact that they announced they've gone gold. It's coming out in March. It gives them a lot of time to really kind of performance test and improve. We've covered this. Like for me, Chrono asked me before the show as we were in the waiting room, I was like, I was planning on watching it live. Like we had the No Rest for the Wicked multiplayer together update. I took the day off work, live all day with it. And I was like, yeah, the Xbox event's going on. I ended up having so much fun. I completely forgot about Xbox. So I ended up watching it much later. But one of the things that comes up, and I always try to remind people, especially when it comes to No Rest for the Wicked and being an early access dev, people talk about performance. And it's a rightful critique. Running the update that was the one before the Together update, I played it on my Xbox ROG Ally, my Steam Deck, and it was slower. And when I played the Together update, you could feel that performance boost and how everything seems to be running much nicer, but it's not done yet. Some people are going to still have performance issues. Some people have wide range of hardware, and this is right now only PC. The fact that he's brought up that it's running on PlayStation 5 and that's driving how they're really kind of focusing in on doing those performance bits gives me a lot of hope for that game's future, meaning performance when your game is there, then you can sit down and you can focus in on it. So with Crimson Desert, that's where I was like, yeah, they actually are in a really good spot. They're not like, if the game's ready, they can just really hone in on making sure that they've got the best performance across hopefully a wide range of specs, because that's when it comes to PC aspect, there you go. But being that I'm correct me if I'm wrong, you got the PlayStation 5, PlayStation Pro, like they should be able to allow them to also kind of continue to tune and target that. So gamers can have, an ideal or premier experience. But I don't know.
How long have we known about Crimson Desert? Like, how long has this
Like
game
10
been
years.
Because I feel like I was hyped for it and I was excited, and then it just kind of disappeared. And then now it's actually coming out. I'm interested, but I think it's one of those games that I don't have an opinion on until I get to actually play it.
I think that's all action RPGs.
Yeah,
the same thing with Fable. It's like until I have buttons and I'm feeling the combat, I'm like,
even the combat they showed for Fable, like I was like, okay, this seems kind of interesting. I'd at least like to try it, but I just don't know. Yeah, I want Playground Games to succeed here because the Fable IP is like kind of legendary for Xbox.
I didn't really get into 3. For me, the last Fable that I just really overconsumed was Fable 2. And I really enjoyed that. But from my best memory, it always kind of felt floaty. And I've seen some critique about what we've seen from Fable, how the world kind of felt a little bit floaty. And I get that. I've seen also some conversation about 30 frames per second being kind of the target frame rate, which just makes
an action RPG. Yeah.
So like it feels like what the hell's going on? Go ahead, Scrag.
Bringing it back to Fable.
Yeah.
We all like Fable 1 and Fable 2. This much is agreed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we still gonna have like, if I do evil stuff, I look like a devil, and if I do good stuff, I look like an angel? Or is Western writing seeped into that, where morality is relative and not?
They said it in the trailer. Morality is relative, and I was like,
okay. I must have missed that part because I was just assuming
marketing campaign.
Okay, I see. So it literally is not Fable anymore. Then
it's all about your reputation and how each NPC perceives you. Is what I was sold.
That is the most ridiculous. Go ahead, Solana.
Yeah. They spoke to it in an interview, and they said something to the effect of like, when you go to a new town, they want you to be neutral. Like, I think this is maybe part of their open world interpretation. Like, they don't want you to walk into a town and they're like, oh, that guy's evil. And I thought, okay, I get that, but I still think you should have given the player the option to be like, I'm happy to walk up to a town and be like, yo, what's good? I'm evil. Like, I'm here to be evil. Because that would dictate maybe who is friendly to you, who wants to do some crime with you, who's going to stay away from you, vice versa, right? If you go and you're not evil. Like, I feel like they could have still left that there for players to choose, because that seems to be a big sticking point. Like Jake Baldino, Maddie Plays, a lot of big fans of Fable are like, I can't believe they're not putting that in the game. That's a huge thing that Fable's known for. And I kind of feel for the Fable fans, because that does feel like some way to like have your story and your character emerge based off of your choices, and not just, well, this town likes me because I help them pay their bills. This town hates me because I'm robbing them. And it's like, there's just this big gray nothing.
I did kind of like the idea of that, though, where, you could become like a town's hero or, local celebrity, and then go to a new place that you haven't been like in the game yet, and you're treated totally different. I like the idea of that. But if I've built up like this kind of moral good throughout the game, and then I go to a new place and I'm having to start over every time, at what point is that more work to do? Yeah. And it's just kind of a grind to go one way or the other, good or evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I'm genociding every town I go to, I should have devil horns. Because there is no relativity there. I just kill everyone. That's not relative at all.
That's a reputation that also precedes you. Like, you actually would have the heralds going ahead of the towns that you're headed to. They're like, the great destroyer is coming. Flee for your life.
I was
actually, you show up to the town and it's deserted, and you're like, oh.
It was something I was thinking
Why
about
does everybody
earlier.
Leave?
in relation to the trailer, which obviously I missed the whole point of that, but it was something I was thinking about earlier in Western writing, right? Like name of the bad guy, Marvel. Snaps his fingers, everyone dies.
Thanos.
Yeah, so Thanos, according to Western writers, was an okay dude. He actually had really good reasons for what he was doing. And that's what I don't like about our current like writing when it comes
I
to
don't
video
need to
games
feel
and
bad for the
entertainment.
bad guy. I don't
Yeah,
need
exactly.
justifications for the
He
bad
killed
guy to be a
half
bad
of
guy.
everyone in the universe. And they're like, no, he had his reasons. He wasn't a bad guy.
Look at how the world has improved since it happened.
Joker and Batman would be friends if they didn't know each other and were at a bar. Yeah, they're both good in their own ways. No, he killed everybody. He's evil.
Yeah.
Like sometimes bad guys are just bad. Like the ending of Stranger Things. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a line in the show where someone's like, "Oh, you're just like us. You're just like me," and he's like, "No." And it was great. He's like, "No, I chose this." Anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's a
agree
good
though.
point.
Like Western writing. I guess it's a Western thing, but I don't like the trend of over the last, I guess, I don't know, 15 years or so, where you get all of these stories about trying to justify the villain's reasons. It's like the villain can just be a villain. Like that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
There's good versus evil. That's a classic story trope.
right, but there's also there's good value to kind of play, devil's advocate in this case. Is that sometimes there's really good villains that in their mind, like I see chat saying, like they believe in their head that they are the hero. They're still a villain. They're still doing evil, but they're in their twisted worldview. They're a hero. Has anybody here ever? Right? Has anybody here seen? It was like Puss in Boots. I think The Wish, for example, because they had oh man, they had a comedian playing like Little Jack Corner, and the entire movie, like you had like his conscience is trying to talk to him. Oh, there's got to be good in there somewhere. Oh, he must have had this tragic backstory, and it's like, no, he was well-to-do his whole life. He's just an evil, complete jerk. And it was the movie, and some of these characters were trying to reconcile that, because in their mind they're like, we can clearly reach the good that's in this guy, and he's just that chaotic evil, that aspect. Like if we go all the way back to like D&D, it's like, yeah, everybody has to be this kind of neutral, kind of template in some of the writings, because dare we offend or have something that we're trying to make some kind of moral statement. It's like, yeah, good and evil can exist. I think there is a case where an interesting villain is one that thinks they're the hero, but evil, like I do hope that we can kind of get back to that. And when they said that in the trailer, I was like, morality is relative. I was like,
And it's one thing to have it's one thing to have the villain justify his actions. I'm okay with that. Like they give me a reason that the villain's a villain, but don't make me try to sympathize with evil. Right? Like I don't want to consume a story. I intentionally, I guess, avoid stories like this if I know it's in there. But I don't want to like feel bad for the villain. I'm fine with the villain having his reasons and being evil. And maybe I'm in the minority on that now. I don't know.
There's an example from Dragon Quest, where Dragon Quest 11 specifically, where it's like one of the villains was just being lied to. They thought they were told information that wasn't true. They acted on that information. Then they got new information, and they're like, "Oh wait!" And then they became, a part of the hero's journey in that
That's
regard.
perfectly fine.
It's like,
yeah,
cool,
that's okay.
Well, even sympathetic villains are fine. It's just not every villain has to be also the good guy.
Tragic backstory.
Yeah, like
Emmett Selk. I thought
Emmett
he was
Selk,
he was
exactly.
yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Emmett Selk was actually a pretty cool dude, probably. Well, we know this because we hung out with him for like the whole game, because he's like, I could kill you, but I'm not gonna. Which is weird. But he was actually a pretty cool guy, and I did sympathize with him. But also, you messed with Yestola, so you have to die.
Gotta go. We gotta get you out of here.
You gotta die. Sorry, you slighted.
I think essentially like how I'm feeling overall with the Xbox Direct kicking off 2026. In my mind, like you guys pointed out, like it's funny that you're gonna have Dick Pot game. That's gonna interesting for like probably, who knows? It could be the next like social game that lives and dies off of Twitch. But I'll cross that bridge when we do. But essentially though, like when I look at this outlook for Xbox over 2026, I actually am feeling very, very positive overall. We got the Gears of War E-Day, which they didn't show, and honestly, I mean, I guess they're going to do a deeper dive later this year when it gets closer to coming out. Fable, Horizon Let's see here. Am I missing another? Like, oh, Halo. They're
Yeah.
doing Halo, and
So
all these coming to PlayStation except for Horizon, which is going to be delayed to play. Like,
I
didn't
give that
get
6 months.
logic.
That gap, I give them 6 months. They're going to launch it in what? March, May, one of those.
May 19th.
Okay,
When-
so I give it
when is
6
Gran
months, and
Turismo
it'll come
6
out like
coming out?
right around the holiday season of this year for PlayStation. I don't see
When-
why they would delay any longer than that. I
Yeah.
figure it just comes down to either optimization or
GTA 6 is the factor, I think.
yeah.
When's
That's
GTA
fair.
6 coming out?
GTA 6 is slated for November. I think if you can't get out before like mid-October, I think everybody's just going to vacate. Like no one wants to be in the wake of that game. It's just that it's eclipsing. Like I think that's the problem. Somebody today was saying like, oh, nobody's going to buy, Forza on PlayStation because GTA 6 is going to be like a better racer. I'm like, that's not why people would do that. I just think GTA 6 is going to be eclipsing. It's just going to gobble up attention and play hours and purchases. And I would think you'd want to.
Well, it depends on the price, though. Okay, they were talking about.
Oh, I know we joke about them being able to charge like $150, and
That's
they're
not a
going to
joke,
have
though.
versions of that. But at the same time, like I'm sure they're also wanting to be like, hey, yeah, we're here's what it costs.
Well,
They're gonna make
here's
that money
silver
off in
lining.
spades.
Though. Here's the silver lining. If you are an enjoyer of PvP games, when GTA 6 comes out, that's your time to play without getting called slurs.
The sweats will be all doing something else.
They'll all be playing GTA. So, safe haven. Go nuts. Have fun.
You want to hit that rank that has always been denied in your PvP
exactly.
game? There you go.
Yeah, climb
Silver
the ladder
lining.
because they're not going to be there anymore.
Lona, what's your odds on it moving to 2027 though? Like they have delayed multiple times. GTA 6.
Oh, the most recent like hullabaloo about this was Schreier. They made it sound like he said it was likely to get delayed. He was actually saying the opposite. He was like, it seems like a more solid release date this time. Another insider, like leaker guy, said he's really careful. He doesn't want to expose anybody because like a bunch of people got fired for leaking stuff. And so he said, I don't want to give any more detail than this, but he was like, I'm not hearing anything that indicates another delay is coming. So I do think they're on pace for two reasons. If they push it again, it would really have to land in this fiscal period, which means you'd push it into like first quarter of 2027. I would think the C-suite's going to say, we need this in November for the holiday push of November and December. The spending is so much bigger in November, December. We're going to make a ton more money. We will fix it in post. Like, I think that's going to be the attitude, is the shareholders are probably not happy. I mean, they took a big hit. They were given assurances multiple times it was going to land within the previous fiscal period. Now it's in this fiscal period. So if they push it again, I mean, good night. I mean, they're going to be, I feel like Strauss Zelnick would be in trouble. He'd be like, I've made multiple assurances on two different occasions about two different fiscal periods. We can't do this again. So I feel like they are going to do everything they can to get this thing out so that they can really reap the benefits of that holiday push.
How much do you think they've spent on it? I know obviously we'll never know real numbers, but are you in the, I saw somebody speculating they're well over $1 billion, which I was like, I could see, especially with like Halo Infinite, Microsoft was publicly talking about like 500 plus 7, and we see with Call of Duty, like rumors around 700 million in terms of a budget, but they've been easily, spending a lot of money on making this thing a real game. I'm curious. What do you think? I've seen 2 billion. That's the other rumor I've seen.
I have not even the remotest of a guess. It's huge. They're gonna print money. It'll be fine. But yeah, it's got to be pretty expensive at this point. More expensive than probably any other game in history, I would imagine.
Just over time, the time they've spent on it, that's gonna be true. I think no matter what.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Like, go ahead.
It's been in development for what, over 10 years?
GTA 5 crossed was 360 PS4 generation. The Xbox One and I guess that would be PS4 generation. When did GTA 5 come out? Like now I
don't remember. That's the thing. I think it was like 2013, 2014.
Was that the PS3, the Xbox 360?
September 17th, 2013. GTA 5 was on PS3 and 360.
Good
Yeah.
night. And they it's the thing with GTA 6 is it's being funded by GTA Online. Like that game has just continued to be a dominant factor. I think that when people talk about live service games being dead, GTA like in and of itself is like that Fortnite. It's interesting to me that it doesn't come up in the same breath as Fortnite and Minecraft and these games that just hold on to people and don't let go. But it is like I think a real, real.
I think
big
as long
factor.
as GTA Online has been available, especially in its current state,
Mhm.
I wonder how long it's going to take them to move everybody to 6 and whatever GTA Online becomes for GTA 6.
I think people are probably ready to jump. Like if they've
Maybe.
got, if
I
they've
don't know
got
though.
hardware,
Like think about how people have stuck with Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite. They stuck with what they know,
Mhm.
and they don't. We've seen the trend. The top 5 games for 2024 is the exact same list as 2025, right? Are people willing to drop the 150 or potentially $175 or whatever they end up charging? Which I really think it's going to be like a $70 to $90 investment upfront for like the base game. But are people willing to do that just to play online? And I would be hopeful. I think it's reasonable. I just don't know if they would do that this year. Chat is cracking me up, y'all. I'm like losing it. All
I
right,
was
somebody
just laughing
mentioned
'cause-
Broketober as that time of the year. Broketober. I've never heard that before. That was great.
I mean, that's pretty accurate though if you think about it.
Yeah.
I do though, like honestly though, like it's so important and it's like really valuable information. We have to find out when Kiln is getting a PlayStation release date.
Well, that's where the money's at, right? Like, in terms of market share, et cetera. Like if you're gonna reach the gamers, it's like PC and PlayStation. I think that's where we're at. Nintendo, as much as I love them, like, oh gosh, like if I didn't have kids, I think my Nintendo Switch 2 would be like the greatest dust collector device that I own in all of history until said Mario game that whatever comes out, etc. Hey, that's actually a really kind of interesting topic to kind of bring up because I'd like to get Lono's take on it as we look at 2026 hardware wise. PlayStation 5 clear winner, PlayStation Pro coming out, price increases rumored, Steam Machine still like when's it coming out? I think the announcement was really cool, but now with the RAM kind of prices as an AI, like, well, if it's too expensive, it's too expensive. Are we too soon on the next generation in terms of hardware? Are we talking about like do we see Sony and Microsoft announce their next generation hardware this year, or do they decide to hold off? What do you think?
Before the RAM crisis, I had been saying for a while that I really saw the PS6 getting pushed. And my logic was not, I wasn't like making some prophetic claim like, oh, the hardware is going to get crazy. Because I mean, that kind of came out of nowhere, right? Mine was based more off of, we got a really slow start. There was the chip shortage. There was the pandemic, and then the Pro came out. And when the Pro was coming out, they had like an earnings call. They're like, we're going into the second half of the gen. And I thought, well, that's going to put us in like 2028 or maybe even further. Then GTA 6 is kind of playing a role too in my mind because we know PlayStation has roughly right now, I don't know, around 40 million folks still hanging out on PS4. They're probably playing Fortnite, Warzone, Minecraft, stuff that can run perfectly fine on the PS4. So they're trying to get those folks to jump over. They got a really, really big, loud reason for people to do that as soon as GTA 6 hits the market. I don't know why in this year or even next year, why you would disrupt that. Just let GTA 6 be a big vacuum cleaner for you to make all these people say, all right, I'm finally going to make the jump and buy a PS5. I think you would really disrupt that by saying, here's the PS6. Like that just feels really out of turn. You add in RAM and pricing and hardware fluctuations, and I think it's a recipe for, yes, the PS6 is like 2028 at the earliest. We're hearing maybe even could slip further because they don't want to start production and start doing any of that until these prices settle down, which I don't know enough to speculate on when any of that could or might happen. I just know these are impacts on price, which is going to impact their schedule probably. So I think they've got a lot of reasons now to push. And I think we just saw a report that the PS5 Pro is now on pace with PS4 Pro. It started out slower, but I think it's caught up. So PlayStation's probably very happy, I would think, with how things are going right now. And then they can just kind of like let GTA 6 carry a lot of the weight of momentum to say, hey, it's time to finally come over. And they also have Wolverine. I think Wolverine will be a pretty good grab. Like, hey, man, everybody wants to be Wolverine, right? But GTA 6 is like jet fuel in the tank. Like, nobody's going to want to miss out on that. Eventually, you're just going to get everybody to finally jump over off of that PS4.
I think Sony's definitely happy with the sales, with the exception of their purchase of Bungie. It's like, I don't know if they are really excited about this year. Marathon, you want to talk about that, anybody?
We got a release date.
Is anybody here looking forward to Marathon? Like, I just can't find it within me to be like, I even watch a trailer at this point. What do you think?
Tentatively, all right. I have several reasons why I might like it, and many reasons why I know that I probably won't, and most of those are Bungie related. But I like extraction shooters, so even if it sucks, I've got the Steam refund 2-hour window to make a decision. Probably shouldn't abuse it like that, but I plan to. It looks cooler than it did when the first trailers came out. It doesn't look like it's going to bleach the back of my eyeballs with like neon colors anymore. So that's cool. I liked some of the systems that they talked about in their interviews. It just looks neat, looks interesting, but I know how extraction shooters go, and either they do great and then they get optimized so much that nobody wants to play except for the people who are tryhards, or they flop because nobody wants to play it. Those are pretty much the only two options for extraction shooters. So we'll see.
It looks fine. It was a hard sell for me to begin with, because the whole idea was, hey, this is Marathon, the IP, but not Marathon from back in the Apple days. You know, it's loosely connected in the same universe. And I'm like, okay. And then the whole extraction shooter thing, I'm not on board yet, I guess. This isn't the game that's going to convince me, though.
So real quick, I want to address this. They still stole art twice. They paid that guy like a lot of money.
They settled.
And he tweeted and was like, "It's all good now, guys." So that's
It's a girl. If it's a girl, it's not a guy.
okay. It's a girl. My bad. Okay.
Okay.
I don't pay that close attention. So that artist, they paid them a lot of money, and the artist was like, "It's all good." And so now I'm like, "All right, cool."
Yeah, they probably took care of her. I hope she gets some attribution, because it wasn't just like the stolen art. It seemed to really impact the whole like kind of like vibe and color scheme as well. Like, I don't think she gets claim on that whole feel, but like it really felt like her stuff was a bit of a springboard, like a almost like a mood board, right? That they really took a lot of inspiration from. Anti-Real is the name of the artist. Her name actually ended up in the game because they were so sloppy in their theft. You could see her name in the game at certain points. It's wonderful. They were that sloppy with it. Bungie. What could I say about Bungie and Marathon? Everybody in chat from my stream knows I have been very much. I try to be as fair as I can to Bungie. You know, obviously, anybody knows I got a lot of reasons to not like them, but like I feel like I've been pretty fair to them in the realm of like their live service expertise. Like, I felt like it made sense, the input they gave Naughty Dog that made Naughty Dog say, hey, we don't want to do this Last of Us Factions, because Bungie basically said, you're going to have to become a live service studio in order to support this. Okay. So I actually think they have a lot of expertise and insight into live service, which makes this very surprising to me, because they essentially told Naughty Dog, you're all in or this isn't going to work. I'm not quite sure how they're going to plan to do this. It doesn't seem like the entire studio is behind Marathon, and yet it's coming out. And then if we look at how it was showcased, it was basically like an alpha, like a minimum viable product last year, which was incredibly bold and brazen to think that like, well, we're Bungie. We can show everybody an alpha and that'll be all that we need to do. And then when we look at the actual landscape and how difficult it is to get a live service off the ground, they basically shot the horse in the leg already. It's like, you guys had such a rough start. You've already, I think a lot of people just like, I'm not interested in this game. They kind of like walked away. And then Arc Raiders comes into the picture and gobbles up a ton of people's attention and play time. And the real trick with Arc Raiders, because I remember telling people ahead of time, I was like, these extraction shooters, they're going to really struggle to capture and keep people because people don't like to be disrupted and they don't like pain. Nobody wants to have like all their stuff taken, you know, and lose your stuff, right? The real trick that Arc Raiders has pulled is so much of their player base isn't even playing an extraction shooter. They're just playing a looter. They're playing it like it's a PvE game. And I think aggression-based matchmaking is one of the most 900 IQ plays I've ever seen a company pull. It's like nobody even thinks about that part. It's like out of the frame. It's just this emergent PvE co-op game that people are playing. It's like a big portion of their player base is not playing an extraction shooter. They're not worried about, you can still get shot, you can still lose your stuff. That's definitely there. But I had a video, and if you read the comments and you look at the results, I'm here to tell you, they basically pulled a trick where the PvP and the social experiment made the game go viral, and the streamers, and like everyone's like, oh, you got to try out this game. And then they're letting you play it in an almost peaceful way. You don't check a box. You don't turn PvP off. You know, the threat's still there. I think that's going to be one of like Marathon and anybody else's that wants to do extraction. That's going to be their biggest dilemma, is that it really starts to feel like this hardcore punishing environment that is, you know, PvP with loot. And I don't know how you get away from that identity.
Well, they even market it that way, though. Like,
right.
Arc Raiders, they marketed it like, hey, we're going to fight robots together, but sometimes you're going to have to kill someone. Right? Like, oh, we're working together. But if you look at Marathon's like toning and theming of the way that they're advertising it, the footage is players killing other players and being like, I'm going to get you. You know, like being like super cool, tough guys, like killing each other. So I think that's going to be like the default state of people who play that game, period.
Agreed. And that's not a problem. People will hear you say that, or I've said the same thing. And what they'll say is, well, why is that a problem? It's like, that's not an indictment. It's a huge challenge. Like, how do you keep people if it essentially turns into that meat grinder of it's a PvP match with loot and you're trying to get out? There is aspirational content, but we know from Destiny's player numbers, like aspirational content tends to get the least amount of engagement. That can't be your hook. That's not going to have a whole lot of staying power. I've always said with Destiny, you had people living in the public space. You had people living in the strike playlist. In Arc Raiders, you have people just like grinding PvE quests and stuff. You have to have those lower rungs to keep the game alive. I'm not seeing those lower rungs of access on Marathon. I see a hardcore game that Ziegler, like the director, said, this is not a game for everybody in one of his first addresses to the community. I'm like, oh boy, you're gonna have a really full funnel with that. Like that just sounds like they have a lot of challenges ahead of them. I feel like they've lost a lot of public interest and momentum. There's not any real consumer inertia. People are like, oh, it's up on the Steam charts. Within a day, it fell. I don't think that momentum's there. It could be because it's still up there on PlayStation, but on the pre-order charts. But I still just don't think the game's going to have a lot of staying power.
I think when all said and done, all of the various different competition has to come into play. And I think one of the things that a lot of people have experienced, especially over the last couple of years, is that you've got less expendable income. Where it's like, okay, either everything's a subscription and you're just bleeding out money each way, or you're just working or you're busy with life and family. And so that's like I've talked about this numerous times. I've hyper focused in on just a handful of games that I love, like No Rest for the Wicked. Really loving that game. The devs just keep pumping out quality content, and 1.0 might be this year. So it's like, how would Marathon pull me off of that? And I was like, the answer is easily it won't. Like, so it saves me $40. Thanks, No Rest. But then at the same time, and I've talked to these guys, like the nostalgia push that has really kind of come up, I feel like over the last 18 months for me has been wonderful. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. I have beat 1. I've almost beaten 2. I still have to play 3. Then Dragon Quest 7 coming out next month. Final Fantasy 7, the remake Intergrade just launched yesterday on Switch 2 and finally on Xbox. I have it downloaded. I'm ready to find, if I could find the time, maybe with the Snowmageddon, if we really all get snowed in, I might be catching up on my backlog, etc. But like it has been like, yeah, where's my time and my money gone? It's gone there. My kids, because of their increased interest in both Fortnite and Minecraft, like Game Pass, the value of it has gone down dramatically. There was a huge value at $20 when the kids would be like, "Oh, I want to check out that game." I'm like, "Go for it. I've already paid the subscription." Like, yes, play it. At $30, and they're like, "Well, we're not really using it." Like, yeah, okay, well, thanks, Microsoft, for saving me some money. So it's like there's been just this big shift here in my family of where we put our time in what buckets. And if it's not Minecraft or Fortnite, I don't know what's going on. One second.
Yeah, I've kind of been in that same boat, especially just going into this year. I got a lot in my backlog that I want to play, and sticking with all these service games, I just don't have time. So I've been enjoying some single player stuff. I'm finishing up Metroid Prime 4 on stream, and I get all the criticisms. I'm still having a blast with it. I get why people didn't jump on it. Metroid's not going to be a big system seller ever, but for fans, people like me, I thought it was a fine game. I've enjoyed. There are definitely criticisms to be had, but I'm at the point now. It's like I don't care. I will, if it appeals to me, I'm going to enjoy it. The struggle I'm having with Final Fantasy VII Remake is I already bought it on PlayStation. I just haven't gotten to playing it, but I kind of want it on Play Anywhere. So I may wait for it to hit a sale on Xbox and buy it twice, but I'll probably end up just playing it on PlayStation.
That's kind of my problem. I own it on Steam and on PlayStation. Now I have it on Play Anywhere, and it literally is that Play Anywhere. If it doesn't have that tag outside of Final Fantasy Tactics, which is the exception, it says Play Anywhere. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna buy.
Did you buy Tactics on Xbox, like the Xbox Store, just in case it hits Play Anywhere?
Yeah. The hope is and it's weird that it didn't.
Since everything else is,
everything else from Square Enix has, except for this one specific title, which happens to be the GOAT. Like, if anybody here has never played Final Fantasy Tactics, I would argue it's the best Final Fantasy game ever created. And the remake that they've done, it only makes it better. The strength is that at the same time, they actually finally improved the xCloud environment, where it was so night and day. Where it's like, go ahead.
So with xCloud, it popped in my head. The ad-supported tiers of xCloud incoming.
Okay.
All right, we're good with it on NVIDIA, like GeForce now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reaction to xCloud getting ad support is kind of icky. People are not happy with that.
How much do you think would be the Xbox tax, though?
It's probably part of it. Oh, look,
if Sony did that, would people still be like, ick? It's like, no, more opportunity for people to play Sony games. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think that the percentage of price that computer hardware has gone up as a result of streaming services is going to be too high very soon. That's my thoughts.
I don't know if I ever agreed that there was an Xbox tax. I would say there's a bit of a phrase. There's a bit of a self-inflicted Xbox deficit. The public's not happy with them. I mean, they raised the price of Game Pass twice. They moved day and date to Ultimate. I mean, a lot of the Xbox loyal and people that were kind of staying with them, I think there's almost a deficit of trust. It's like, why? What are you guys doing over there? I get people being frustrated with them. I got there before everybody else. I was very much full in with Xbox this gen. I bought the Series X first. I'm coming from 360 and Xbox One. And I just felt like, man, they just disappointed me year after year. Yep. I think a lot of people are now there. They're like, you're going to put ads in my what now? I get it. Even the splash pages on when that was showing up on Xbox is the big advertisement that would pop up. People were not happy about that.
I think that,
dude.
I don't
lose my mind.
Yeah.
Especially as a pay, if I'm paying for Ultimate, don't advertise on my dashboard ever. I know I know what's available. I'm paying for Ultimate. I already see the updates, right?
It's egregious.
I don't want to turn on my Xbox and be derailed from what I was planning on doing.
And this is why I have no problem with an ad supported tier. It's okay, I get it, right? We're also content creators. Most of everything is through ads of people wanting to advertise to people. There is a premium fee that I pay that's called YouTube Premium. And I don't see ads, and it's glorious. And one time I wasn't signed in, I didn't know it, and I was just getting ads after ads, and I was like, what the hell? I pay for this thing. So same concept. The fact is I'm already handing Xbox money. Don't throw things in my face. I don't need it, right? I'm good. If I stop paying, it would be good to have that maybe as an option, because like we have the Netflix tier that is the ad supported tier, and it's great. We have access to Netflix. Occasionally we watch ads, and I say great. It's just because my wife's frugal. I hate it. I hate watching an ad. I'm just like, no, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
but I get it. She wants to say, pay $6 a month, but then that opens up that opportunity of that content. So Xbox doing it, GeForce Now doing it. Like, if it gets more people checking it out and they're able to fund it, okay. Like, it is what it is, right? Like, lights got to be paid in that regards.
I mean, mini rant here about like ads and stuff. We were paying for Peacock, and I had the ad free tier, and we were watching Alfred Hitchcock Presents because we love classic television. I think Twilight Zone's like one of the greatest television shows ever created. And so much of what, Rod Serling and Hitchcock did is influence this entire generation of TV we're enjoying now. And I'm like, oh, these guys are great. So we're working our way through Hitchcock Presents. It's like a 22-minute episode. And we started getting ads. And I was like, what? I was like, did I downgrade and forget or something? So I go and I read like the fine print. And apparently, even on like Peacock's ad-free tier, you might still see ads. And I'm like, of all of the places for them to show up, I'm like, this show is not, there's no way the viewership is very high on this show. It's like, it's old, it's black and white. Like,
it's just
thankfully, maybe it was just me. It was like, they were like, we're going to get you because this is the only thing you're watching. We
gotta get those guys born in the 80s who love video games.
It's just more like, you haven't watched a commercial in a while. What do you want to buy?
Right. Well, the funny thing is he hated the advertisers. Hitchcock would throw to the ads and always take a shot at the advertisers. And so he would do that, and then we would get an ad. And I was like, this is a little too on the nose. Thankfully, all the episodes are on Prime. So I canceled Peacock. So, like, I totally get the ad fatigue and the subscription fatigue. Like, I totally get it. I finally canceled Game Pass. I was like, man, $30 is just too much. Yeah. I'm not using it. My kids aren't really using it anymore. They're playing Fortnite all of a sudden. So it's
the
like,
only reason I still have it is because like I had it banked at $20 already, and I was like, so it runs out in October. And
yeah, if they hadn't forced everyone to the $30 tier and maybe like grandfathered in those that had stuck with Ultimate since like day one, I might still have it. But the fact that it was like, hey, in November your subscription now is more because we added things you didn't want. It's like
the only thing that could perhaps keep me, and we need to get to kind of what we're playing this week because we're almost out of time, but the only thing that can keep me is that if in October, by that time, they say, you know what, you could pick between Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft or whatever other subscription out there to bundle as a part of the Ultimate, like that would be a value add to me because that's one less subscription that I have to manage. It's one less thing I have to worry about. It's like, okay, they did that for Fortnite. And so I like, in my mind, there is a little bit of hope. And obviously Fortnite, way bigger than Final Fantasy 14, for example. However, I don't care. It's not a value to me. They didn't add in value. They increased the cost. If they added in, again, it doesn't, if I got the choice, like, you want Fortnite, WoW, Final Fantasy 14, ESO, they have a bunch of other optional sub games that exist. That would be something I would be like, yeah, that's worth it because it's saving me now $5 as opposed to having 2 subscriptions that I'm having to manage. However, there hasn't seemed to be any kind of inkling from them, and we'll see. It might be an interesting year.
It just feels like it might be useful if there was some way that you could only pay for the games that you want.
Wow, what a novel idea. I did like have the realization
one time
like one time or something.
I did have the realization though that since I canceled Game Pass, I have felt less pressure to just try a bunch of games and actually sit down and enjoy the stuff I've bought. And maybe that's just me being old and liking my physical media and my game library, but there's definitely less
gross.
There's definitely less pressure to just like play everything or download everything and at least spend like 10 or 15 minutes playing it. I'm just like, nah, that's not for me. I don't care right now. And it's great.
All right. So guys, that's the show. We spent an hour with the podcast. Thanks to Lona for joining us. So as we wind down, before we wrap up, what are we playing this week? What's on your docket, Lona?
So it came out this week. It's called Memories in Orbit. It's a little Metroidvania. I'm really enjoying it. I'm a little concerned they're kind of leaning into the run back thing. I've ranted about this before. I'm not a big fan of Like, hey, you died to this boss and now you have to run all the way back. And the combat's great, the art style is great, but I'm hoping that doesn't become like a sticking point, because I love a good challenging Metroidvania like Ori 1 and 2, the first Hollow Knight. I loved Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. And so far, the soundtrack, the art style, the combat, everything feels really good in its MIO, Memories in Orbit. If I fall off with that, I'm working through my backlog. My wife and I played Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 on so good.
Love them.
They didn't port the best to the Switch 2.
Correct.
Anytime you got to do motion controls, it's a little frustrating, especially when you're like walking on the ball. I got pretty tilted in those levels because it just wouldn't react sometimes. He'd just go right off the cliff, and I would be showing her, I'm like, I'm moving the controller, babe, but he's not responding. It didn't port the best for the motion controls. But still, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 are fantastic. But I may start moving through the backlog. I've got games. I just played every square inch of Control for like the second time. All the DLC. Wonderful game. Can't wait for Control Resonant. I strongly encourage people to go snag that. I think it might still be on sale on Steam for like a couple dollars, which is
it's a steal.
Steal. That's a magnificent game. So those are what I've been playing and kind of what I have my sights on.
Toronto, what you playing, man?
Should be finishing up Metroid Prime 4 this week, or I guess next week. I'm like kind of in the end game. I'm going and collecting all the things now, trying to get all the expansions and everything. It's super fun. And then I started the DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA because I bought it because I guess I'm dumb. I don't know. I just keep buying Pokemon. But it's fine. I don't know.
You got to fund Nintendo's lawsuit against Power World.
World, yeah. But no, it's fun. This whole game has been one of those slow to start, and then you get into it. It's like, okay, I see what you wanted to do now, and this is fun. But it's like, I feel like I started over because I started the DLC story, and it's just taken a while to get to the point. But it's fine. I'm sure it'll pick up.
Scrag, what you playing, man?
Well, this last week I finished up Black Mesa, and I played through the entirety of Half-Life 2. And me and my buddies checked out Deadlock's new update last night. It is dog shit. And we played a little bit of Rabbit and Steel, which is a game pretty similar to the game we're working on. So that was helpful. Other than that, though, that's really it. I played through Half-Life again because they're good games. That's fantastic, pretty much the only reason. So, yeah, I'm mostly game dev and work and painting at the moment. So
got a lot of moving parts. I to answer, because like last week at the end of the show, I said I'm curious to see if there is a level cap on the Dragon Quest VII demo, because I did finish the story, etc. There is level 15, so I've got all of my characters maxed out, leveled up, ready to go for that game's launch in February. What I'm going to be playing this weekend and all next weekend and the weekend after that and so on and so forth. No rest for the wicked. If you guys haven't seen, multiplayer update literally just dropped this week. You could play for free. So you could play for free up to the 26th. They're letting everybody go hands-on with it, see how they feel. Highly recommend you guys check it out if you got Steam. And in the same vein, into sometime in February, they're running a 40% off discount. So you can pick up the game if you like it after checking it out for free for $22. They don't ducks. Yeah, bucks.
22 ducks. That's a pretty good price. I'll go to visit the park right now.
We go outside.
Quack, quack. Let's go. I'm not sponsored by them in any search of imagination. It is really a quality game, and I think with 1.0 set to come out this year, so it's going to go. The price is going to go up to at least $60. I think Thomas has talked about not moving it to $70, but at least $60. So if you want to get it for like $23, this would be the time to do it. Regardless, yeah. Paul's like, this is an ad. No, it's just such a fun game. So I'm going to be playing that. In fact, I got some doing a podcast with some friends within the community this Sunday, so you guys can check that out. I'll send out the links for all that. But guys, check out Lono, check out Chrono, check out Scrag. In fact, once this video is finished processing, the collab feature right down there below. Lono, you stream Monday through Friday, and it's a great new show. So if you're looking for something safe for work, just to be able to chill, put on the background, stay in the loop of what all is going on, check him out and all that he puts out there into the world. And then thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to end it, and we will see you guys next week.